Round in review. You weren't here on Friday, and the women's Origin game, just to wrap up the series.
Yep.
I know it's the Round in review, but any commentary there? I was disappointed in New South Wales. They had it like Queensland. It's just a little. It just shows you what can be done. Queensland aren't out of the men's series.
No, of course they're not.
You know what I mean?
No. Let's not fall into that trap.
New South Wales were home.
I hope we don't,
Okay.
and I don't think we will.
All right.
But it's
just a little cautionary tale.
Journalists out there, New South Wales journalists, don't fall into that trap of writing off Queensland and getting too heavy with the criticism.
That's right.
Just let it all unfold.
Last 44 minutes of Origin 1, Queensland won 6-4, and I still can't explain how that happened. Friday night, Dragons v Knights. What's your takeaway?
Knights were really bad.
Right.
Dragons were good enough in a 20-minute period and then put the cue in the rack and nothing happened in the second half. It was a penalty goal to try. I will say Leo Thompson's pass to...
For the try.
Yeah,
the
Kaipi's
offload.
Paul was pretty good. That was the highlight moment.
And now he's out for a month. Crusher tackle. So
not much to talk about. Newcastle. Dragons good enough. Kyle Flanagan wearing the 7, so a little change there with King Tonga wearing the number 6, and the 7 does bring a different, even wearing the number 7 brings a different set of responsibilities and pressure.
They're in the 8 today, the Dragons.
Okay.
They're in the 8. Would you get your grand final tickets?
Are you thinking they play finals this year?
I don't know. I don't think they're far off being a good side. I just see, and it's a shame Egan's been injured. Dylan Egan out for the year with a knee. Ryan Couchman out for the year with a knee. But in Toby Couchman, in Hamish Stewart.
They're good young players.
I see some really good forwards. You know what I mean? They're not far off. They're going to have to decide what they do with some 30-somethings. Damien Cook, Clint Gutherson, Jack DeBellin. They've got it's a real range.
But all those experienced players are going well. David Clemmer might have had his best game for the club.
Best game in years for mine.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic. Okay, now on to Saturday we go. Super Saturday. Bludger of a day as far as weather is concerned on the Gold Coast. Titans and the Storm. Storm, like Sean Ormerod for Sportsbet had them. They're under $3 favourites.
Yeah,
they're not really going like that, are they?
No, they aren't. No.
To me, this is such an open race. If they're the favourite, then the door is open.
The last 2 months have seen the Storm be very inconsistent, and they were probably inconsistent. And you could see that watching the game, and I only watched the highlights of the game. You could see it in Craig Bellamy's reaction to what his side were doing. Like most of the time, Bellamy stood walking out of the box, like he was up and down like a yo-yo. He was pretty ticked off at how his team played. They got it done, and they didn't look like losing, but they weren't convincing. Here's a little bit of Munster on Craig Bellamy.
There's various points in the broadcast. He's almost doing a walkout of the coach's box. Can you just give us some insight into how that plays out now when you go back in those sheds?
He's a worrywart. He loves perfection, and unfortunately, when you play rugby league, it's not always going to be perfect. So he wants it to be, but at the end of the day, in these conditions, there's going to be drop balls, there's going to be decision makes that no one wants to do, but that's just the things that we do in rugby league. And like I said, no one's perfect, but unfortunately for Bellyache, he's always perfect by the sound of it. So he'll probably be disappointed, but I know we only let 16 points in there, so that's a good learning curve. Last couple of weeks, we probably leaked about 20 to 30 points, which is not probably something that we want to do. So.
There you go, Cameron Munster.
Yep.
Being Cameron Munster post-game on the spot. Maybe, I know he's having a bit of fun, but maybe he didn't want to say that, but he said it.
Yeah, I don't think Craig would take it personally.
No.
But
apparently he did a 7K swim the next morning, Cameron Munster on his own, and wondered where his teammates were. He turned up to do a swim. Not to worry. Now, next up we go to Cowboys and Tigers. Cowboys at one stage led 32-6. I think and it ended up 32-28.
It did.
I think the stat showed that when the Cowboys played 12 men, they won, 26 or something? When
they scored plenty
of points. It was 13-13. The Tigers won resoundingly. If you could break the game into 2 parts, sadly, that's how it played out.
Yeah.
20 minutes with 12 men, the Tigers.
Sin Binnings really hurt the Tigers, Andrew, and a little bit of execution went out the window while they were down to 10 men, down to 12 men. I didn't mind what Heath Mason did. I thought Heath went okay. Latu Whanu will get the spot when he's back back fit, though.
Well, I don't know. Mason's got a chance. And, yeah, you're right. I mean, you've gone up there. Obviously, the plans to play regulation 7 and 6 went out the door when Luai goes to the sin bin. So they shuffled things around there. And then Dewey goes to the sin bin before half-time. So
made it hard.
They lost their formation a little there. But, no, Mason definitely.
And showed some
more
fight
than a
back.
pass mark.
Yeah.
More than a pass mark.
No, that's true. That's true. Manly beat the Broncos comfortably. We've spoken in depth about that game. Manly, very good. I don't know how you get a read on Manly. Manly have been, and the games they've lost, they've been beaten convincingly. They're games that they haven't been in. They've almost been like games where you went, well, where did that performance come from?
Without Tom and Jake, they were 1 win from their last 9 matches. So to win in such fashion, beat the Broncos by 28 is nice mentally. You know, like just, okay, we're over that now. Tom's not there. Tom's not our saviour.
Yep.
We can win without Tom.
Manly are in the 8, sitting in 7th spot. It was a great performance. Cherry Evans, Lehigh Hopewadi, Clayton Falalo, who came into the side, was very good. But they had a number of players that were good for them. And I think they're a better side now with Lockie Croker back in the lineup. Back for a few games now.
Rabbitohs v Warriors. Now, one big story out of this one, both from a Warriors perspective, but also New South Wales, is a knee injury to Mitch Barnett. Now, we wish him all the best. We've watched the replay a couple of times this morning here on Fox League. It looks the worst possible outcome. I don't know what a good possible outcome is for Mitch Barnett. It might be MCL,
it's a ruptured
6
MCL.
weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Might be best case scenario. This was Andrew Webster after the game, a very concerned coach.
He's definitely done a knee injury of some description, but we're waiting for scans. It's the boring old thing, but we don't know. Honestly, don't know what it is right now. I've only seen him for a couple of minutes.
He didn't look too mobile in the sheds there.
No, but mate, if you do a media or a PCL, like you never are. You know what I mean? Like there's different grades to each different injury, and until you look under the hood, honestly, you don't know. So we'll just wait. But he's in good spirits, Barn, and honestly, we'll get back to New Zealand tonight, and we'll work it out tomorrow.
We'll find out today, I would think, Andrew. And the NRL physio had, like all of us, not knowing what it was, but had a bit of an ACL injury look about the way the knee twisted and just where the force was coming from.
Yeah, I'd be very worried. I would think at best he is
6 to 8.
Out for 6. The Origin campaign is over. Besides missing football for, he's going to miss Origin, and besides what he misses for the Warriors, that means position vacant.
Yep.
In the forward pack for New South Wales. Barnett. As for the team performance, Warriors keep chalking up points. Are they a legitimate top 4 side? Have you got them? I know they're there, and they've now chalked up 9 wins, but are they a legitimate top 4 side?
Well, I guess they are. I don't know whether they'll end up finishing in the top 4, but the fact that they've been able to win 9 times, Andrew, and 3 of those were in Australia recently, and then they've won again. They went back home and got beaten by the Raiders in a tight game, but then came back to Australia and won on Saturday against the Bunnies. So I guess you've got to put them in as a legitimate top 4 side. They are sitting 3rd at the moment on 9 wins. They haven't had 2 byes. The sides that have had 2 byes so far, that just skews the table ridiculously. Like the Titans have had 2 byes. They're sitting on the bottom with 3 wins. They're the only side with 3 wins. The Dragons have had 2 byes. The Cowboys have had 2 byes. So they're both in the 8, but only with 5 wins next to their name. Storm are sitting 4th with 2 byes. They've had 2 byes. They've only had 7 wins. The Raiders have had 3 more wins than I know the games that they miss are a chance to chalk up another win, but they get the 2 points anyway. The Dogs have had 2 byes. So 5 sides have had 2 byes, which skews the table ridiculously at this stage of the year. The Raiders haven't had a bye. Now, the other game, the Panthers, in a must-win. The Penrith had to win. Penrith nearly have to keep winning every week. I don't think there's much room for them to chalk up, too many losses and still make the 8. I think you're right. All players need to be available. And that was obvious right from the start of the season when there was key players, whether it was Dylan Edwards or Nathan Cleary missing, they came up short. So I thought their goal line defence at stages on Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening was as good as it's been this year. Parramatta were game and just fell short. There was moments in the game where it could have gone Parramatta's way, but a few moments went Penrith's way. Nathan Cleary's form was good enough to get them home.
I think Parramatta's capable of knocking over the Bulldogs Monday. It is a humongous game next Monday. King's birthday holiday in New South Wales. Bulldogs Eels. $10 tickets available. Bulldogs have posted overnight. $10 tickets. Go to the footy for $10. What year is it? 1986. $10 tickets. Fantastic. They want to not just get over 50. They want to fill the joint on a holiday Monday. And Parramatta,
I hope so.
Parramatta should bring 20 or 30 of their own. You know, at least 20.
Yep.
20,000 of their own on holiday Monday. So that's good. Last game of the round, Raiders and Roosters last night.
Yeah.
Raiders just keep on winning.
Well, they do.
They've won 5 times where they've come from behind by 8 or more.
4
this
second-half
season.
tries.
That's
4
pretty good.
second-half tries. Xavier Savage, fantastic. Hudson Young, good. Ethan Sanders coming in for Jamal Fogarty was great. Kyo Weeks has been terrific. Tamale. You can go through the whole team. The whole Raiders team.
Yep.
You don't win
Bench
10 games.
included. Bench
included. You don't win 10 games, and you don't sit. At most wins in the competition without everyone playing well.
This is their bench
Simi
yesterday.
Sasangi.
And I would have them all in the mention. Papali'i was fantastic. Maybe topped the hit-ups. I'd have to check that.
Yep.
Simi Sasangi may have had his best game in first grade.
Yeah, but he's been
Adam
good.
Mariota is just every runner's intent. And Owen Paddy was a game changer.
Yeah.
That's their bench yesterday.
Yep.
And next week, so there's an alert too to Canberra fans, and we'll have a bit of Raiders love this week. They have a big day planned. 2:00 Sunday game, Canberra at home to the Rabbitohs. Papali'i breaks the club record for game appearances.
Yep.
Corey Horsburgh will play his 100th, and Matt Timicol will play his 100th. So you got 3 milestones, but the biggest one, Big Papa.
And just on that game last night, there was so many moments, wasn't there?
Oh,
there was
great
so many great moments.
Yep.
Whether it was controversy or not, or just great play. Like even the Raiders' first try, where Xavier Savage scored in the corner, where they batted away, like they just kept battering the Roosters line. The Roosters were up for it. Defensively fantastic in that period where the Raiders had a lot of ball, but the quick hands out, the execution of that was mind blowing. There was so many good moments,
and the best of all, I got to spend it with my little buddy last night, Brandy Alexander, calling it on Fox League.
It's not you, it's me.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon, and breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.